Summer 2023, I set out from the East Coast for Chicago to train on the Lakefront Trail for the marathon and reunite with my old self. I got these shots from my plane seat. I was so excited to see my old neighborhood and get ready for 9 or 10 days of pure training, fun, adventure, seeing friends, and being happy. It was the end of July, my first stop to see my friend B. Lumpkin just a few days before her 105th birthday, and then on to catch up with my friend Jonathan Rosenbaum, who allowed me to stay in his home for the training trip. The very next day, I was up way early in the morning. I think it was 4 miles on the Lakefront Trail just to warm up. And then I'm sure I was dreaming about the next day because I had a 1-miler that I was going to be competing in for with the Chicago Area Runners Association. And I'd been training for weeks for that. It's funny to me because I actually thought I had a chance of earning a place on the podium, but no, there was no chance. These runners were fantastic. I can't remember the times, but were some of them sub 5? I think. Definitely sub 5, maybe, and definitely in the 5s. I didn't come close. 8:28 was the official time. But it was a wonderful night, and it felt like the old days when I'd lived in the city and enjoyed the summers on the trail and running with groups. I loved it. That was a Saturday. On Monday, I was out on the trail for my big run, the longest run of the year, 20 miles. And what I remember is that it was a scorcher of a day. I struggled. It was a tortured run. I'm telling you, there were times when I just had to stop and I fell out in the grass, drank water, and rested for a while. But I did finish that 20-miler, and it was glorious. Everything that I wanted it to be. Running from the north side to the south side of the city and back on the magnificent trail. It was just such a gift. In between all the running I would do that week, I enjoyed taking walks, meeting new people,
Hi, Mason. How
meeting
are
new
you?
pets.
Nice little dog.
Thank you so much. All right, bye-bye, Mason.
Seeing friends, family. It was great catching up, going to old places that I used to frequent, or even where I used to live. It was like a small kind of homecoming. 2 days before my trip was to end, I found myself up really early on a Saturday morning, got on my bathing suit, threw on a little top, dress, and started walking to the beach. It was a slightly rainy day, but I had to do it. I had to go. I had to visit that beach, be next to Lake Michigan. And then, I don't know, I got up, just started walking. I had no plans. I walked, I don't know how many miles from that beach through my old neighborhood and past that and onwards. It was, again, a time of reminiscence, seeing old buildings where I had lived, remembering stores where I used to shop, getting back in touch with myself. It was, well, part of why I was running that marathon. very last full day, I got up once again very early and set out on a 12-miler on the lakefront. It was a rainy day, it was windy. I remember the lake coming up on the Lakefront Trail and soaking my feet wet. But that day I think was the day I knew I was going to do well, or at least I should say meet my goal in the marathon, because I ran 12 miles nonstop at 9 minutes 31 seconds a mile, I think it was, and it felt easy. It felt great. It was a great way to end the trip, which I had in total run 57 miles over the more than a week, a little over a week that I was there. And then it was back home, back to training on the East Coast. I felt invigorated, and I was looking forward to the next 8 weeks or so before heading back to Chicago.